Welcome back. The big business of gaming. Microsoft ready to lose the Xbox's disk drive with the release of its digital-only model, hitting stores today. It's the first major home console to not feature a physical drive. Joining us now is Gamer World News host Brian Hanford. Brian, good to see you.
Good to see you
Thanks
as well.
for being here. So how does this change the game? No disk.
Well, I think that it's a step in an inevitable direction. I think that gaming, like TV and film, is going to become more and more streaming, going to become more and more online. And that's what this console is attempting to do. Now, personally, at the minute, I don't think there's enough incentive for a lot of console gamers to make the switch to all digital. With PC gamers, about 71% of gamers have already started doing digital downloads only. But with console gamers, you still have 2/3 of them wanting to play with the physical disc. And with only a small amount of savings, I'm not sure that Xbox has nailed it in terms of creating a huge incentive for people to go all digital.
Because there's a ton of companies like a GameStop that sell the physical discs. What does that mean for them?
Well, that's another incentive as well, is Microsoft, I think, sees that there's still that benefit for places like GameStop and Best Buy to be selling physical discs, and they don't want those retailers to stop selling their discs. So there still needs to be a little bit of give and take between having those physical things. And I think as well, when you look at the fact that with just a little bit of savings, you lose the ability to play Blu-ray discs and DVDs as well as your old game discs, it starts to seem like it doesn't really make sense for a lot of console gamers.
Brian, one thing that this raises for me is the idea, you used to be able to buy a disc, you'd have a game, you'd play it all the way through. And in the last decade or so, DLC, downloadable content, the games are never really finished. There's always something more that can come out. Is this just sort of another step in the idea that when you buy a game, it's not really the whole game that you're buying?
Well, I think that there's a little bit of truth to that. I think that the ability to have more downloadable content and add-ons and all these different packs with characters and new missions is definitely a huge selling point. However, you are able to do that with a lot of games, but one of the biggest problems is that if you don't have a physical disc, if they ever discontinue that game, then you'll never be able to play it again. Whereas if you have the physical disc, those games of old, as long as you still have it, you can still play it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Brian, great to see you. Thanks so much. Brian Hanford. We'll be right back.